Hello everyone, it's Akire Blade yet again. This is the next video from Crystal Palace. I don't know if many of you have seen the hourly video I shot the other day, but this time we're here to cover Kreltin. Now, what I did say in the last video is that I thought the entrance to the special instance for hourly was in Dome 1, which is where it used to be, but now it seems to have been moved to the shopping level, and there it is. Now of course I can't go in there because I haven't completed the 5k mission, and of course I said 10k and that was wrong, so I'm not doing very well here. Basically we had a little bit of luck with the hourly last time, and I decided to go out and have another crack at them and basically lost what I'd gained, so that's just the way it goes. So today we're, like I said, looking at the Kreltin. Slightly different beast. I'm not 100% sure, but I think their hit rate is slightly less than the hourly. I've found quite often that I've had much less of a hard time with the Kreltins than the hourly, even when they add up on you. And here, once again, the signs that Buzz have provided show us the maturities and the HP levels, and in fact where to find them. So we're looking at Dome 2 and 3. I'm going to stay out of 3. There's just not a hope in hell that I'm going to be able to make that work for me. Once again, there's a little bit of discord between Entropia and this piece of information. This time it's not the damage type that's the source of contention, it's the HP levels, and on Entropia it states that we're looking at 1170 for the youngs, whereas here it's saying 1310. I don't know which is right. I would hazard a guess that this one is right, but I don't really know. Anyway, we're going to head out and have a cracker with those. Dome 2 is over here. Let's see what happens while we're out here. Okay, that's my mouse doing funny things for me. So, similar kind of dome. The vegetation in here I think is slightly different. Yeah, just ever so slightly different. Nice that you can look outside and see the Calypso space station, and there's Calypso itself. That will be Dome 3 over there. Okay, and I'm just realising I'm wandering aimlessly into the mobs, so I don't want to go that way. I'm going to go the other way. Once again, I don't want to aggro more than one of these, because I'm just not strong enough to do that, and I also don't want to pull them too close to this turret either. So I'm going to swing out to the south and probably camp this side. Now these again have a fairly strong regeneration, but not quite as strong as the hourlies, I would say. And what happened there? It kind of just disappeared and took its aggro off. Now, so you get a bit of a swings and roundabouts of feel for these. So they do more damage, I believe, compared to the hourly, and they don't actually do more damage. They do more damage on impact and on acid, and the combination is harder to protect them with Owly. I mean, it's not like you can't protect it, because you can, but when you're, you know, limited on budget, it does become harder to protect. Again, I'm rocking the Viceroy armor, and it's working out okay. Oh, there seems to be a bit of an issue there. Every time I step past that point, it thinks I'm not here anymore. As you can see, compared to the Owly, it is a bit less of a struggle. You can see that the level of the Kreltin young there is 34, whereas I believe it was a lot higher with the Owly. Certainly nearer the 40 mark. Once again, these Kreltins, they loot some similar items to the Owly, such as the alien acid and alien blood, but they also loot some special alien parts unique to them, such as the Owly does with its Owly chitin scales or fragments. So I'm guessing some of those items have some half decent markup. I haven't really been keeping an eye on that really. I mean, other noticeable loots were talking about MX5s again, ISIS HL18, but I mean the unlimited versions of those are extremely rare. And it's even highly doubtful that in our lifetimes we'll see any more of those loot. However, the limited items are a different story. They also have the ability to loot Shadow and even Sentinel parts, although I think only limited in Sentinel. But once again, the unlimited side of these parts, probably not realistically going to see, not for a long time. Now, back in the day, there we go, there's some alien resin food. Actually, I'm not sure if the Owlies loot that. I think that one might be unique to this mob. Let's see what we're doing there. So that's, you know, hovering around the 250 to 300 mark, which is half decent if you get enough of it. As you can see, just compared with the time I was having next door to this dome, these are just a whole heap easier. However, that's not to say they can't catch you out. It's quite easy to get a bit blasé. Let them get you down to a low HP, and then they come in with a nice fat crit. And once again, you want to be using tactics to avoid getting them to run at the turret. That would be disappointing. See, that was quite an aggressive regeneration there. So once again, I really should just tag with that. Again, I would aim to be running at least, well, I guess you could get away with about 60 damage per second and up. You probably want to aim a bit more than that to be comfortable. Wow, triple crit with the M2870. That's never happened to me before. That's the first time that's ever happened with this gun. Very chuffed with that. doing it. I have to get my own discipline in check. Back in the day, the stalkers, which is what I used to spend my time hunting, along with a bunch of other people, they would probably max out at about 28 to 30,000 head in an all-time high, but taking the level of the lower maturity ones now, these are showing as level 37, so this is the mature obviously. That indicates a potential of 37,000 plus maybe a couple of K on top of that. So obviously the stalkers will now give a whole bootload more than that. Unfortunately, the Crystal Palace is a lot more quiet these days. It used to be one of the #1 places to hunt, and this dome, the dome next to it, Dome 4 as well, they would just be packed with hunters day in, day out. And you know, I'm in here on my own at the moment, which is a bit of a sad state of affairs, really. When there's a lot of people hunting up here, of course, what happens is the general loot pool becomes much richer. And so we start to see more globals, more halves, more all-time highs coming in. But, you know, when it's quiet like this, I'll probably be lucky to see a global. These mobs also have an iron mission chain, taking you up to, I guess, 10,000 kills. But they don't have the extra that the hourly have, so there is no instance for them, there is no special mob for them. That's solely for the hourlies. If you want to hunt comfortably in Dome 3 with these, you need to be, you know, pretty much level, I would say level 60, with a bucket load of evade skills or evade profession. So you probably want to be at least at about level 40 evader, probably, to make them work. Now back in the day, you didn't need to be that skilled to handle stalkers because they had much less HP and their hits wouldn't come in that much, but they're much stronger now, so you need to be much more skilled. You probably need a decent heal tool as well. Now thankfully there are a few options about these days that aren't even skill increase bonus locked. But in particular, I'm using an adjusted EK 2350, which still does the same heal as it does originally, but once I've got enough mushrooms to actually do the conversion, that will be an improved variant, and the heal goes up by double. Now that's going to make this FAP much more adept. I could probably just about get away with doing some mobs, some high level mobs. But to be honest, this would need to be a modified EK 2350 to really work out in the next dome. Of course I could say that and I could be talking complete nonsense, so maybe if I've got the will, I might pop in to Dome 3 just to show what it's like in there. As you can see, it's not a particularly enthralling hunt. I think the fact that it's quiet makes it a little bit more boring. You know, when there's a lot of people in here, it kind of mixes things up a little bit. But, you know, this is the way it is now. See the kind of the bigger hits are coming in. It's just under 30 HP over the top of Viceroy and 5B combination, so you know that's doable. They don't come in too often. I haven't seen an old yet. I did mention in the previous video that hunting Kreltin in Goblin is completely doable, and I've in fact got some evidence. So, assuming I don't forget it in the edit, you should see a picture of me globaling on a high maturity Kreltin in Goblin. Now, I think the size of the hits hasn't really changed that much. So the same could be true, but it would just be a lot harder to do now because of the increased amount of HP they've got. So I think before you all switch off with boredom, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run back over to Teleporter, and you know what, actually I think I could teleport straight in there, but I'll give it a crack. Now, there was a time in the past where you couldn't actually, if memory serves me correctly, you couldn't actually teleport around up here. So if I go near the teleport, that should be okay. Right. Now we should see. Oh dear, that wasn't planned. I'm gonna have to teleport in there now. Yes, you can actually get outside the domes. There's a small amount of area around the outside where it's considered to be indoors, and the reason why that happened is because I am quite low on skill with translocation. This is just a recipe for disaster now, isn't it? I'm going to go here. Oh, it's done it again. Okay, I guess you can't really teleport around, so what I'm going to do is get too far. There we go. And hopefully it's going to consider me to be outside. No, this isn't really working. I guess it still stands true that you can't really teleport around unless you want to go outside the domes. So what I'm going to have to do is do something like that. And bye. There we go. I should have just walked back to the teleporter. Right, looks like someone else is in here. Right, I have no idea how this is truly going to pan out. I'm probably going to die. Who have we got in here? Strange. It sounds like a mod merc, that. Alright, this is a dominant at level 49. Let's see how hard this is going to hit me. So 14, we can deal with that. 33 is getting a bit high. That's much higher. So let's heal that back up. I'm not getting hit too much right now, but I am expecting to get spammed a little bit in a minute, and that's when things are going to be a bit more difficult. Uh, 50's not too bad. As you can see, I'm having to do noticeably more work with the FAP. Back on it again. And this is where, I mean, that the armor itself isn't too bad at the moment, but the FAP itself is not. It's not really doing the job. There's the single out alley. Oh no, actually there's a couple in here if I remember rightly. Oh, that was a dominant. Let's try an alpha now. Use fails are becoming a bit problematic for me at the moment. See, and there we go, back to back plus 55. That's not helpful. So I'm going to knock that on the head there. I hope that that session was informative for you all, and I shall see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, and also don't forget to subscribe for more Entropia Universe videos. Right, I better step off this thing before I fall off. Oh! Ah! Ah!